Miley filed for a temporary restraining order this week against a 52-year-old man.
I know your album says you are coming, plus some of the songs talk about it. Please don't delay it much longer. I know I can heal the sick and bring back the dead after we are together. I just need you, then I can get the crystal skulls. Then we all get eternal life.
Miley claims Alexander has been writing her obsessive letters since 2018.
He told them that it was his life mission to impregnate Miley.
Police say the best way to describe this man is delusional.
Miley Cyrus has some disturbing men trying to take over her life. Her most recent stalker has a scary plan. His name is Alexander, and he believes that he and Miley are destined to be together. While in prison, he sent her love letters, explaining his stories, his plan for Miley, and asking for money. He showed up at her home after getting out of prison, and now Miley is asking the court for help. So let's get into it. These celebrity stalkers are getting out of hand, and now Miley Cyrus is in trouble. Not only was her stalker locked up already, but as soon as he got out of prison, he came right back to her home. I have some different theories on maybe why these stalkers are getting worse. Maybe it's parasocial relationships that they have through social media, so they feel entitled to these artists and these celebrities, but there's something not right here. Reports claim that Miley Cyrus just got a court order protection from a man she claims is so obsessed with her that he showed up to her home days after being released from prison. According to new legal documents, Miley went to court this week to file a temporary restraining order against a 52-year-old man named Alexander. Miley claims that this man, Alexander, has flooded her mailbox with obsessive letters since 2018, often requesting money and making actual comments about his desire for her. So not only is he sending her a ton of mail begging for money, but he's also fantasizing about her and hitting on her in this note to her face. I mean, sometimes I think like these stalkers wouldn't treat any other like woman or love interest in the world this way, so why do they feel like they can just be so aggressive towards celebrities? She says his obsessive behavior escalated in the summer 2022 when she claims he twice showed up to her LA property and was given the boot. Miley claims that he was arrested in December 2022 and locked up in state prison until this past August. Days after he got out of prison, he showed up at her front gate. Miley claims that Alexander sent her a letter from prison stating his intention to come to her home, and he followed through, but he was stopped by security who contacted police. She says the cops told him to leave and he would be arrested if he came back. Since this incident, Miley has claimed that she learned that Alexander is using her address for his health insurance, and she says he wrote a letter to her saying if she didn't write back, he doesn't give a F if he lives. I don't know if there's some strategy by putting his healthcare information as her address. It's pretty bizarre, but threatening to harm himself if she doesn't reply, I mean, that's enough to essentially get 5150'd. And she says that his behavioral patterns show that he's suffering from severe mental health challenges and that he has a dangerous fixation or obsession with her. She said she's also nervous about her mother and her mother's boyfriend and various people in her family because it doesn't seem like Alexander is just going to stop. And the judge agreed, so he approved the temporary restraining order against him. But essentially, this is a piece of paper. If this person is struggling with their mental health, do you really think like a piece of paper from the court is going to stop them, especially when they've gone to prison a few times?
TMZ obtained court documents showing that Miley filed for a temporary restraining order this week against a 52-year-old man named Alexander Cardalian, or Cardalian, sorry, I don't know how you pronounce it. Miley claims Alexander has been writing her obsessive letters since 2018. He often requests money and makes explicit comments about wanting her. Miley claims his obsessive behavior escalated in the summer of 2022. She claims he showed up twice to her LA property. Alexander was arrested in December of 2022. He was in prison until this August, and he once again showed up at her front gate just days after being released. In the court documents, Miley states that he wrote her letters from prison saying that he would show up, and he followed through. But he was stopped by security who later called the cops. The cops told him to leave and that he would be arrested if he came back. Miley says since then she's learned that this guy is using her address for his health insurance. Miley is worried about her safety and the judge has granted her a temporary restraining order.
The reason we're learning about this story is because the TRO was filed. So we got to see all the details and essentially Miley plead her case on why she needs this protection. And looking at the evidence, there are some red flags, like this letter where he's asking her to send him mail, writing, "Hey, I don't know if the prison takes celebrity mail. Please write me a letter using a different name." They only give you $100 when you're released. They lowered it. So I'm trying to figure everything out. I've got a plan. So he's got a plan and it involves showing up at her home. He goes on to ask her for money so that he could buy a phone when he gets out of prison. He also writes, "I used to be a doctor. I'm a Harvard graduate. I'm 52 years old and I have a spaceship. Oh no, I'm not from this planet." Okay, yeah, there's a lot of like delusion going on here, which, no offense, like mental health struggle, like we hope he gets his help, but it shouldn't come at the expense of Miley's well-being and her mental health, because I can't imagine having someone who's constantly sending me letters and making up plans in prison for when they get out. This is bizarre. I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. "I met this screwy old man years ago named Yummy. His body was different than mine or yours. I also met the devil. His nickname is Fat Boy. I call him James Money. He has a name, Uno. Uno is money name." Okay. Okay. Anyway, this screwy old man made a doctor out of me. I might have met you. Were you on 6th Street by Wall? You would have been wearing a black hoodie, Skid Row. If it was you, I saw you the following day. I like, his story's not adding up. And I yelled out your name and I went after you. I have a feeling that was you." So he's thinking that he like saw her at Skid Row and ran after her. Then there's like a bunch of like letters with numbers. I wonder if this spells out something. Oh my gosh, there's Holy Bible. And there's metados. Comment below if you guys see some more. Okay, wait, hold on. You said something about crystal, and I opted to move on because with MDMA or methamphetamine drug, of crystal meth is fatal. Okay, so he's talking about like a whole interaction that he believes that he had with her. "I love you, and there's something that Sergeant something me if I could be your boyfriend, I be. Okay, your people have ran me my criminal history. Commercial burglary is shoplifting." Okay, so he's got a history of crimes and he's trying to explain himself. I guess carjacking. So he's explaining his carjacking story. He goes on to explain the carjacking. "I'm a doctor, okay? I love you. I'm harmless. I would never ever lay a hand on you, okay? Net 10, no evil. Your people told you to use your own name and called the prison to tell them to return it." Pretty effed up of them. So he's trying to like, he's got this delusion that Miley is into him and that the team is working against them as a couple. And honestly, we could sit here all day and read these letters because there are a lot and they come in a variety of ways. I mean, there are some that are so difficult to read because they're on scraps of paper, but he just continues with these stories and these like ideas that they have been like connected somehow and projecting that he's some doctor, which I don't see a history of that. And I think there's a level of frustration that these stalkers start to feel when their celebrity crushes do not reply to them. And that's where I would really feel uncomfortable. Like this July, he writes, "Hi, boo kid. I know that you care a little bit about staying alive, and I effing barely do. Either you get me something in the mail, even a letter, or I don't give an F whether I live or not. Best wishes, and know that I misspelled sexabone." Okay. Control dude, ask Mike for $500 to $1,000. So still asking for money and threatening to harm himself. Like, is this gonna make Miley like jump up and want to save for this guy?
Fans of Miley reacted with shock and concern on Twitter, supporting the star through the ordeal and hoping she is able to stay safe.
That's up. Like, I think it's really about like random people, you know, just be stalking celebrities and thinking it's okay to stalk them when you have no clue what they're going through. But at least Miley Cyrus hopefully got a restraining order and hopefully succeeds in putting that restraining order on this old man.
Before we talk about another person who's messed with Miley Cyrus, I want to quickly talk about her security because I read this TRO, it's like 60 pages long, and there is a security team who's been working with Miley Cyrus, and it makes me a little bit concerned. I mean, thankfully they've been able to stop Alexander from getting to her home, but Miley has been working with Black Box Security, and actually in this TRO, the guy who runs Black Box Security and who used to work with Britney Spears gave his own declaration. Adon is the head of the company, and they work very closely with TriStar Sports and Entertainment, who is the firm who allegedly has been printed as like putting Britney Spears in the conservatorship. Again, allegedly, don't cease and desist me. At this point, everyone knows your involvement. I mean, at least they think they do. But keep in mind that Black Box Security was extremely problematic to Britney Spears, mirroring her phone, putting surveillance in her bedroom, keeping track of her, and then reporting her every move to her father, who essentially like had his hand on the red button and controlled this conservatorship and her finances. Miley and her mother Tish are very close with the head of TriStar Entertainment, and it looks like they've gone to them for business help and for security. And I think a lot of fans get concerned when they think about Miley being involved with this security team because the security team has been accused of collecting surveillance on their celebrity that they're watching and then using that against them. So could they be doing that to Miley? Adon gave a declaration, like I said, and he explains that he's been working with Miley Cyrus and he's had plenty of interactions with this guy ever since 2018. So he's been in the picture for a long time. It's great that Miley's security will vouch for her in this declaration. I mean, I'm sure she pays them a ton, so they better. But at the same time, I will never forget what they did to Britney Spears and how that could be happening to Miley at the same time.
You know, security guards would accompany Britney in public places and help keep the paparazzi away or help keep stalkers away.
Remember, I asked Don, why is it that security is with her 24/7? And he told me that security was part of the conservatorship.
Britney can't really leave the house without security and without security alerting her father and various other people about where she was going.
Around the same time as when one of the new agents that was working there was asking me, how is it okay that we're in charge of her medication?
And he noticed that security would sometimes be in charge of giving her her medication.
You know, I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we were given prepackaged envelopes. We have to hand them to her, and she can't leave. She has to take it there.
Unfortunately, this isn't the first time this has happened to Miley Cyrus, and she's had some other really disturbing stalkers. This headline reads that Miley Cyrus's stalker arrested after allegedly saying that his life's mission was to impregnate the singer. He's 42 years old, his name is David, and he's obviously a perv if he's just like over here threatening to do this. He actually was in the crowd at her iHeart Music Festival set in Las Vegas when the security team spotted him and he was detained and then arrested. He was supposedly on the team's watch list because he allegedly made threats against the Wrecking Ball singer in the past. This was, I believe, in 2019. David has been active on Twitter in his quest to reach Miley Cyrus. As noted by the news outlet, David tweets often about the 26-year-old singer, most recently before her show last weekend.
I know your album says you are coming, plus some of the songs talk about it. Please don't delay it much longer. I know I can heal the sick and bring back the dead after we are together. I just need you, then I can get the crystal skulls, then we all get eternal life. What? Miley's team knew to look out for David in the days leading up to the concert when he revealed that he would be traveling from his home state of Washington to see her show in Vegas. He said, "Love you and can't wait to see you in Vegas." David went as far as to try to book a hotel room for Miley hours before the show, reaching out again via Twitter to say, "Just an FYI, I would have spent more on concert, but didn't want to be sitting next to someone trying to get with me. I myself don't want to be next to anyone but you. I do hope we can meet up like I've been asking before the concert, just to talk about your music lyrics." He continued, "I'm hoping not to be back at my room. I don't want you to have to go to Motel 6. I wanted to stay in one of the hotels close to Stadium and banned from MGM hotels from when you took my soul. I'll go check for messages of where to meet at. I'm in room 208 at Tropicana 1.
So clearly this guy is in his delusional era. And looking at this mugshot, I mean, I'm even scared because he looks very like, he just looks out of it. Like this guy looks like he's confused. and lost, and maybe doesn't even understand what he's doing is so wrong. At one point he tweeted, "I've been here since Thursday hoping to meet up before you were in town. Love you and hope you give me time. We have a lot to talk about." And this man was constantly posting videos and pictures of himself and just tweeting at Miley, trying to get, I guess, with her. I just did Motel 6 until you get here. I figured you know Vegas and the best hotels to stay. Oh my gosh, sorry in advance. For part of our talk, it's in your lyric, and he spelled lyric wrong. Yeah, very off. He's trying to say that he just did Motel 6 because he's waiting for Miley, probably to stay in her room because he thinks that he has some chance with her. Granted, he's double her age. There's one tweet that made me feel like he had even more malicious plans than just to meet up and talk about her lyrics, because it seemed like he wanted to harm her. And let me know what you guys think of this and what his intent is. He writes, "I feel a party will have everyone trying to talk to me and trying to talk to you, and might be harder. I know after we are together, we can party it up with Tupac and Biggie and Prince and Michael Jackson and all those we lost. So any party you might have planned will be more of a pre-party." If he is tweeting about these celebrities who have passed away, then what's he insinuating? That they're going to go to a party together with these celebrities who have passed? Like they're both going to die and then move on to the next realm and hang out with these celebrities? It seems like kind of like a little bit threatening, even though it's clearly like he's trying to make it, I guess, seem like passive. I'm not entirely sure, like maybe it's like coded in his mind, but when I read that, it was obvious that he wanted to go to a different kind of party. Sources told TMZ that it was his Twitter feed that made Miley's security team worried of David ahead of the show. They handed out photos of him to staff inside the venue and warned for them to look out for him. County records indicate that David was booked on a felony charge of making threats and being held with a $100,000 bail.
And if that's not enough for you, he's even tweeted at Miley's dad, Billy Ray Cyrus. He's tweeted at Trump in the past as well, saying, "At real Donald Trump, maybe you should pay whatever Miley Cyrus she needs for us to meet. You were the one to pay those crooked cops to arrest and torture me." Apparently, all of these tweets were enough to cause alarm for Miley's team, Shocker, who passed out photos of the stalker to the event staff at the concert. And once inside, he was recognized by someone on Miley's team who said that he told them that it was his life mission to impregnate Miley. The man was arrested and is still in custody at Clark County Jail under felony charges of making threats.
I wish I could say that that was it. We've got Alexander, we've got David, but there's more. And I want to take you guys back over a decade to 2012, when a scissor-wielding intruder was arrested in Miley's home. She was living in Studio City at the time, where she was confronted by a scissor-wielding man who claims that he was married to the singer. Remember, she's like very young here. Officers didn't believe the man, identified in one report as Jason Rivera, when he claimed that he was intimate enough with the 19-year-old singer to hang out in her house at 4 a.m. carrying scissors. That'd be strange. I mean, even if the couple was married. So things got even weirder when police report that the suspect then repeatedly threw himself against an outside wall as if he was trying to break into the home. Miley was not home at the time, thankfully. At one point, he attempted to hide in nearby shrubbery, so he tried to hop into a bush, but of course they found him. At this point, MySpace was a thing, which is actually interesting. Side note, I like work out with the guy that like used to be the face of MySpace, Tom. Very interesting talking to him, but he listed his occupation as poet on MySpace, and his top 3 friends were his ideal sister wives for his delusion, including Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, and Amanda Bynes. Wow, that would be an interesting and chaotic life if those were your sister wives.
An intruder arrested this weekend just outside the 19-year-old actress's Los Angeles mansion. A 40-year-old man jumping the fence. It was all caught on tape.
Police say the best way to describe this man is delusional. He is in jail this morning, charged with trespassing after he was found carrying a pair of scissors and claiming to be Cyrus's husband, all after hopping a fence to get onto her property.
Caught on tape.
Police department, step out of the gate.
Police respond to a 911 call of a prowler at the Hollywood home of Miley Cyrus.
Police department, show me your hand.
A man claiming he was a friend of the 19-year-old singer was reportedly lighting candles and throwing himself against an outside wall of the gated property.
We attempted to make contact with him, have him step out. He didn't respond to our commands at first.
After finally emerging from the bushes, he gave himself up.
Put your hands on the wall. Put your hands on the wall. sir.
The man said he was 40-year-old Jason Luis Rivera, an identity police have yet to confirm.
These people are so scary. It makes me just like feel so bad for these celebrities and also these stories that we don't even know of, because I'm sure they try to deter media coverage on this so it doesn't inspire anyone else. But clearly a mental health problem, and I'm sending a lot of love and protection to Miley. But let's go ahead and open this P.O. Box package item. It's from Catherine London, and looks like, oh my gosh, you're from a city that I really like. I'm not going to say it because sometimes people are like, oh, if you say the city, you're doxing them. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not trying to dox anyone. So do you guys like how I don't know if you saw that. I used nail clippers to try to open this package. I'm like, I always try to open packages the wrong way. It's so much easier if I just do how it's supposed to be. Ooh, what do we have here? Oh my gosh, this was sent back in April. I'm opening P.O. Box package items again, just so you guys know. Hi Sloan, my name is Kathy and I enjoy your YouTube videos. Your content is powerful, timely, and your insights are on point. You are a good soul who makes a difference in this world. I appreciate your willingness to address the more difficult topics out there, even when we later learn that you are going through your own difficulties. I'm a therapist and passionate about helping trauma survivors. I published my first workbook called Welcome to the Crap Show. It addresses recovery from emotional abuse and stuff that occurs in relationships with a narcissist. Been there, done that. I am sending a copy to you along with a chakra balancing bracelet. I wish you many wonderful experiences in the future. Oh, thank you so much, Kathy. I love that. I'll list everything below. We've got your link and everything. Your Instagram is there. But look at this book. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's a workbook. I actually recently got healthcare finally. Oh my gosh, and look there, you can see, there she is. Hi Kathy, thank you. Cute, I'll link this below. I recently got a therapist, so I'm trying to, I'm trying to get some therapy, because like, why not? I never had therapy in my life, and I've had plenty of things to talk about. And here's the bracelet. Cute little like chakra moment. Let's open it. ASMR. Did you see Kylie Jenner did that ASMR recently? It was kind of random. I feel like years ago I could sit there and watch it, but I'm like, I don't know. Just like, I couldn't like watch it for more than 10 seconds. But also, if this video comes out, does anyone have any ideas for Rockstar Halloween costumes? Because I'm going to a Rockstar themed party. I have no inspiration for me and my boyfriend to be like Rockstar. Like, I really wanted to be like, he hates this idea, but he could be Bret Michaels and I could be like one of those people from Rock of Love, like the show. But yeah, I need like Rockstar ideas. And he wants to do like Harry Styles. And I'm like, I'm not doing Harry Styles. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for this, Kathy. And I'm like really interested in like, it's like kind of coloring book, but also like, it looks like lessons within there. So that's really cool. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye guys.